talk.
Rhett, just talk about kind of what you saw from Nick. Obviously, he didn't get a lot of practice time last week.
Yeah, Nick was tough. Nick's a tough kid. I expected him to be able to give it a go. And he didn't get a lot of reps last week in practice, so there was some concern there. But he did a good job. Obviously, we didn't throw the ball very much. The game was a weird, game kind of for us. And the first half, and we weren't out there much, and never really kind of got much rhythm, and yet we were still ahead. But when he had to make the throws, we did. The big one to Sammy was big. And I thought, what he did well was just, lead the team, manage the team. He made runs when he needed to. We didn't turn the ball over. Overall, I was really pleased with him because, not getting really any reps Tuesday, Wednesday, limited on Thursday, to go out and play the way he did and just lead the guys, I thought that was a good job.
You bring a guy in like Jeremy Johnson, you're near your sideline right before the snap. Yep. How much of an advantage is that at times when guys are able to get so quick before snap?
Well, I thought Jeremy did a good job. I was really proud of Jeremy because he prepared last week to be the starter. And obviously there was more package-wise play. There were certain things we ended up not doing because, like I said, it was a weird game the way things unfolded. And then to come in cold and the first time you're in, throw a 15-yard pass is not an easy thing to do. And so I think that is good. The good thing about it is, when we put one of those guys in there, he can throw it. When we put one of them in there, he can run it. Obviously they have the things they do better than the others, but it's not like you put in this guy and it's only going to be this, and you put in this guy and it's only going to be this. And so I was really proud of the way Jeremy prepared, and to have not played the whole first half, he wasn't down. And when he got his chance to start the third quarter, he was a big part of that drive that really put some separation there for us to start the second half.
Can you kind of elaborate on what you mean by a weird game?
Well, just, the way they took all that time to start the game, but then our defense gets a turnover. I think we ran 20 plays in the first half, had 5-6 minutes time of possession, we were ahead 14-3. Those things don't happen that often. And so, when you go into halftime to make adjustments and things, you don't have as much information as you normally have. You haven't ran as many plays, you haven't been on the field as much. We knew at halftime we were going to have to be very efficient with our possessions. In other words, we got to get points. When we get the ball, we can't mess around. We got to go get points because at this pace, we don't know how many we'll get. And we were able to do that, I think, for the most part. And then, of course, our defense did what they normally do and bowed up in the red zone and got turnovers and stops.
At the end of the half there, you guys had about 2:40 left and ran it, didn't quite go to the air as much. Was that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That was two things. One, I think it was 2:40 or something. We had 2 of our timeouts at least, and we're thinking, first of all, you're on the 1 foot line. We just got a big momentum play. We wanted to get it off the goal line, and we were able to do that. In 2 or 3 plays, we got a first down. And then, the way that unfolded, we ran the ball to do it. The clock was already down pretty low, and at that point, if we'd have got an explosive play or something to get us going, we were ready to go into 2-minute mode. But getting it off the goal line was the first priority. And then at that point, we were looking at, it was between a minute to a minute 15 maybe. And it was just kind of one of those, they had all 3 timeouts. And if you start throwing the ball too quick and you punt it and you give them a short field, they could go into the halftime with momentum. At that point, with them having the ball the whole first half, you're thinking, we're up 14-3, we're going to get the ball to start the second half. Let's make sure it's at least 14-3 going into halftime. And fortunately, it worked out. And then, we were able to start the second half with a touchdown and go up 21-3.
So why the change in thought process compared to Texas A&M in that regard?
Oh, as far as not taking a shot?
Yeah.
Oh, no reason. Just you go with the feel of the game. The first thought we did off the goal line, we did. I think, I don't know, they got 3 points. At Texas A&M was a little different, probably. But we always have our package of plays we'll run down there like we would. And, every game's different. Just feel-wise, that's what we decided to go with. And we were fully prepared once we got around the 15, 20-yard line to take off and try to go score. Just the way that drive unfolded, the clock was going down, and it just didn't happen that way.
But talk about the decision to run as often as much as you did in that game relative to the passing.
Well, we knew going in it was going to be a physical game. They like to run it. Obviously we like to run it. I thought, like I said, it was an interesting game the way it unfolded because we're up 14-3 with 20 plays, and the next thing you know, we're up 28-3, and we hadn't had to throw it that much. They knew we were going to run it, but we were being successful doing that. And I thought our guys did a really good job of being the more physical team up front again this week, which was important for us. And then at that point, you know, there's just no need to really air it out. We had plenty of things we felt good about in the passing game. Even looking back, you're still thinking, hey, you know, why not? But, you know, I'd like to think that when we went up 28-3, if they hadn't returned the kickoff, momentum was definitely in our favor. You know, you don't want to do anything to give them momentum. And at that point, we had been running the ball pretty effectively. Hadn't really been stopped much unless we were stopping ourselves. So, like I said, I mean, when you're being successful with it, you don't want to really stop.
Is that the same velocity sticking with Trey?
Yeah, Trey was a hot hand. I mean, obviously Cam played less than he normally does, and even Trey got less touches. And, you know, some of the other things too now are, like I said, Nick didn't get a lot of reps during the week. So you're wanting to do things that he got reps at, feels comfortable with, or things that we've done a lot of. But yeah, Trey was, you know, I didn't realize he carried it 32 times till after the game. But, I mean, what can I say? The guy gets stronger as the game goes on. He gets stronger as the season goes on. I will say this. I mean, Cam's got over 500 yards, I think, on the year. Tim's done a great job of keeping those guys fresh to this point of the season, because up until the last game or two, they've been very balanced. You know, I mean, Trey's had a little more of the carries, but it's been more balanced. And, but, you know, other than maybe the last drive that we scored on, we started noticing he was getting a little worn down. But, I mean, like I said, we also only ran 55 plays, so all our guys weren't in there as much as they normally are.
What do you see at Tennessee?
You know, they're a team that plays really good at home. They've got a huge defensive line. They got one of the better linebackers in our league. He's one of the top 1 or 2s in tackles, I think. I know a couple of the backing guys just from being in recruiting. They're athletic kids, or a couple of them are young, but they're athletic. But like I said, at home, they played pretty good. They beat South Carolina the last time they were at home. Before that, I think they had Georgia pretty much on the ropes and gave it away maybe in overtime. So, and talent-wise, they got a lot of good talent. I mean, good athletic guys. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see. We're going there to play at 11, you know, in the morning, see how our guys respond. But so far, they've responded to everything we put in front of them, and this hopefully will be no different. It's a road test against a traditionally really good team that plays really good at home.
What was the trip